Let your light shine. Wander down the narrow lanes that lay across the pathway of my innocence. Loyalty had shaped the younger me, but dawn is now closing on the year of defense. How can you gather the pieces of yourself once fractured? How can you heal a soul schism, move your mind? Truth's never really hard to find. From prison to eternity prison. Let your light shine. Let your light shine. Moving through the shallow veil, a place that took my voice and placed it in the darkness then.
Without sin, then cast up a stone and let's truthfully begin. Are you without sin, then cast up a stone against the voice of truth within. Subject, object, destroyed alone. Let you without sin, cast the first stone. Are you without sin, then let's start fully in. Are you without sin, then let's take it back to the revelation of the Genesis origin. Are you without sin, then let's take it back to the garden of life beginning. Subject, object, destroyed, left alone. Let you without sin, cast the first stone. Subject, object, destroyed, shunned alone. Let you without sin, cast the first stone. 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 Are you without sin, then cast the first stone and let's truthfully begin. Are you without sin, then cast the first stone against the voice of truth within. Cast the first stone. Cast the first stone. Cast the first stone. Cast the first stone.
I don't know whether to laugh or to cry. It's the film Monty Python, Life of Brian. It's hilarious, but it does have a serious point to make as well that can't be underestimated. The bigotry, the dogma, the ridiculousness of certain religious beliefs and judgment. Subject, object, destroyed, shunned, alone. That's one of the life-lived lyrics from that song. And this is brief. This is brief. Past, present, and future. Hence, to some degree, the image behind me, if I just step to the side for a moment. From the inside of me, to the reform. There's a lot going on at the moment. There's been a lot going on. There will be a lot going on. And it's all connected. Past, present, future. The albums, plural, Inside of Me released comes from writing about my experience 18 years ago. I'm not going to go into depth. Check out previous content and also listen to the songs. Let them speak for you. You can interpret them to your life. Oversoul, the reform, more societal, more speaking against, indoctrinated, institutionalized patterns that really, really do terrorize. They do terrorize human beings. And I took a journey back. So if I explain the series for those who haven't been here before, 12 places, 12 months, 12 significant places in my life. I turned 60 at the conclusion of last year. Now I thought, let's make a year of it. Suggested to me, Michelle Roach, why don't you go back to 12 places in your life? And I have, and I am. So I started January, check it out, episode 1, part 1 if you like, Stevenage, my place of birth. February, I went to where the family then moved to, Felixstowe. A real powerful message about a gift that my dad made for me one Christmas. March, High Wycombe, Bowerdine Road to be precise. Real emotion around the doorstep of that house in Bowerdine Road. I won't say any more than that. April, Lane End. So April the 30th, I travelled down to, of this year, 2026, I travelled to Lane End. I performed at a pub I used to perform at back in the 80s. I met close friend, incredible supporter, Kimmy. Kim was there, her sister Tracy. Kim's partner, Dave, travelled a long way to come to that pub in Lane End, Buckinghamshire. The following day, ping, message, right on time. The following day, I then went into the past of High Wycombe after I'd moved out of the family home in Lane End. I won't say any more than that because the videos that I recorded when I was there will speak of that next chapter of life. But here's the message I wanted to share. I think this is the first time I've done this. I can't remember. I've not done this in each instalment so far. As I experience the memories, marriage, first flat, first home, beginnings of arrival of family, children, the emotion that struck me, and I wanted to balance that, because it's not self-serving. I went with how I felt at the time. And how I felt at the time was regret, disappointment, frustration, because I had happy memories of where I was, but it was difficult to separate those from what happened the decades after. So how life started, how it was, then how it became, which will be part of future, past, present, and future installments. And the reason I'm doing this is because I can't bank on, and I couldn't, what will be the emotion that will arrive. But the thing I'm sharing is I'm not telling people what to do. It's taken me a long time to reach this point. And I've not fully reached this point. What I mean by that is, of course, like all of us, there's growth, there's expansion, there's lessons, there's experiences yet to come. But I wanted to share something that was kind of fractionally light to create some form of balance before perhaps it goes possibly a little heavy. That's not a pre-warning, that's just an explanation. I think I might part way through the video I recorded So this was May the 1st. So it's May's instalment. A part of it where all I'll say is a football field, Cressix High Wycombe, and a crossbar. Some of that's already been out, but I'm going to share that as a half-time break. We can't avoid emotion. Emotion exists. I'm not avoiding emotion. I'm encouraging others to embrace it on their terms, not to have other people saying, oh, you're still banging on about that. That's not, other people can say that, but they've not experienced what you've experienced. So for me, what I've done with what I've experienced, the alienation, the isolation, desperation, nearly the termination, is we can create from those spaces. And ultimately, it's up to us how we do that. I'll bleed in my own time. So nobody else can tell us the schedule. Heal. I don't think we ever fully heal. I don't think we should. So these things, these experiences, that oftentimes, I will share this as a parting thought, others have put on us, or at least played their part and then denied that part, that we've had to live with that, and then we now get to decide what we create with that. Otherwise, people are projecting the past continually. And not only that, they're projecting a version of the past that was not fully accurate. So that's the thought, but I'll share with you what it was, how it was. I'm not editing this to make it look good. I just wanted to share this thought before I go into the emotions that arrived with me, in me, around me, of that revisit to the time when a really, really big chapter of my life began, and the joy that there was around that, but the challenge of not being able to feel that joy. I've been filming across the last couple of days and sharing across into May. I want to begin here in part 5 of May's instalment. 12 places, 12 months. And I've not really massively prepared myself for what's going to be experienced in a moment. Yep, there it is. So, I'll capture some imagery. I want to begin this video. There'll be light in this. I'm beginning with a little bit of shade. Just here for a moment. Not many people can understand religious trauma. If you've never been a part of a religious belief system, and even worse to some degree, a cultist belief system, one that's really, really deeply entrenched and dogmatic. The issue there, the challenge is, not when you're in it, because that can be fine, it's when you leave it, and when you don't feel the way you used to anymore. That is where it gets incredibly painful. So for this particular episode, I'm just going to cross the road. I don't be too near anybody when I'm sharing this. For this particular episode, episode 5, this is where moved from the family home, Lane End, April's episode, back to the 80s at the Grouse and Ale, formerly known as the Clayton Arms. I don't want to go into too much detail on individuals, on people. It's not because I'm avoiding, I just don't feel it's appropriate in certain circumstances to mention names. But equally, I feel it's wrong to not talk about things from my perspective, my point of view. And it's not all darkness. It isn't. There were wonderful times, wonderful happy memories. This is what makes it difficult at times, because somebody tries to portray it as a waste of time. Well, never. One thing I didn't share in the April episode, Lane End, I was offered a record contract. I used to gig regularly in the area. I didn't take it seriously, and that's okay. I've had fractions of regrets, but I went on to get married and to be married for a long time. And children, 5 children. Again, not going to mention names, but miracles, each and every one of them. I've never stopped feeling that way. Yet, this thing, beast, that's the thought that came to me, made it incredibly painful and difficult. And I think also I would add to that, what religion does at times, beliefs do at times, is put certain characteristics under a magnifying glass. So if somebody is belligerent, dogmatic, vindictive, judgmental, it just makes that worse. Because actually it then gives them the ammunition to be that way. That's the thing that I have against belief systems. And in the messages I share regularly and will continue to, in being human, there is no division. Belief system is separate to being human. So I'm going to walk across the road. The gates are shut. There's some cars in there. I'm going to be respectful in the sense of not wanting to invade anybody's privacy. I'm not somebody who's going to be holding up placards, etc. I feel there are issues with this particular religious group of people, Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm an ex-Jehovah's Witness. I know people have had even worse trauma than I have. And these things don't get talked about, which is this, that it never gets shared, people who have taken their own lives because of the judgment of the belief system. Not always, but in many cases, people who, their sexuality, gay, homosexual, whatever phrase you want to use, and they couldn't reconcile that with being a Jehovah's Witness, ostracised for that in the most vehement of ways. And because of that, they took their own lives. That doesn't get talked about. Well, of course not, because that's not a particularly great advert, is it? People are arriving, so of course I want to be respectful as much as I can. I'll get some form of an image in a moment. This is not apostasy. It's not. You can believe what you like, but you can also change your mind and discontinue believing. And sometimes people within belief systems, within cults, make it that way. When I was inside, I moved from the family home, met my first wife, fell in love. And part of what I did, not only became a witness, not only so that I could get married, but that was part of it, definitely. The two ran concurrently. Now with that, there's no blame in that. I believed at the time for many, many years. And then circumstances changed. And not just my belief, but circumstances around me. And it was painful. So I'm stood opposite. I'm seeing people going in. I think what I'll do is I'll possibly, depending on, like I said, I don't want to invade people's space, ironically. I'll think of a way of doing this in a moment. Whereby, this is where I got married. This is where I spent many years. This is where I was first on the school and learning how to go and knock on doors and talk to people about the Bible. And to stand on the platform and talk. Did I believe those things? Yes, I did. Some people have said I didn't. You can't maintain close to 25 years without at some point believing. But that's just wicked perception, really. So there we are. I don't know how much of this I'm going to share. It's personal and it's part of the journey. So I'll try and capture an image of outside to share across here. But this is where I'm beginning May's episode. So could say not a light place, but it was where I got married. That was a happy day, many happy years. Children, I'll come to where we lived, where we moved, the flat we had, that area. I'll drive around there, see what feelings arrive, and I want to take a visit to everywhere. I can't share everything, and neither will I, because it's not appropriate. But this is the year after my 60th birthday, and I'm taking a visit back to the past. And yes, somebody might come in with some destructive thought. Well, no change there. No change there. I'm not looking to destroy, I'm looking to build, and I'm looking to build from the rubble, from the devastation, the destruction, which didn't just last for a brief period of time, lasted for a long time. It's interesting. I felt towards the end a different kingdom hall to this one. But I felt towards the end as if I was behind bars, imprisoned. I was made to feel that way, not just I felt that way. Others made me feel that way. Not easy. I know that the gates are here for security, but there's a lot coming up inside me at the moment. And this might also be triggering for others in different ways. But this is what I'm sharing of the past. It's mine. It doesn't just belong to other people. They've had a version, they've re-scripted certain parts, but this is mine. That's why I'm revisiting it. And yeah, I've got not just pointing a finger at other people. Ironically, somebody used to say, you know, you point a finger at somebody, you got 3 pointing back even. So yes, but no, because I never did, really, and I'm not even now. I'm not pointing a finger. I'm just saying it wasn't as it was told. Bar, ball. I'll be honest, even if you can't see it, I will be honest. Right. Yes! Yeah! Did you hear it? Yes! 5th attempt. Wow! Wow! 5th attempt. Ball's bounced. There it is. Crossbar. Did you hear it? Yay! So, not self-serving, but this is a mixture of emotions. I've gone from the Kingdom Hall in High Wycombe, Belfield Road. I didn't share that at the time. To the first flat when I was married. I'm avoiding using names. I genuinely don't want to share anything that could even appear to be recriminating. I'm not avoiding, it's just that's not the purpose. But equally, it's important for me to share this personally. So I'm back at the flat. And I think the reason I'm feeling the way I am, which is very sad, filled with regret, is because they were such happy times. And I now know what happened next. So that's difficult. When we're in the time, we don't know any different, do we? We're in that experience at that time. Now I'm looking back and I can't separate the two. And this is what I'm trying to do. This is one of the reasons why I'm revisiting, is to unpick, to unravel. Yeah, what was mine, what was others, because at the time, and this is the bit, you see, this is what's happening, because at this time here there was none of what happened next. So I'm basically now I'm revisiting this part of the past with the knowledge of what happened 25 years close to after. But that's not how it was when I was here. And I'm saying I because I'm avoiding This being about, this is my journey to the past. This is my journey. That's why I'm saying it in that way. Because we ended. So how can I say we? Because we doesn't exist anymore. It's me. And it's them. Her. So it is difficult. It's not easy to separate. So I'm going to take a walk down. So upper floor. Again, I'll try to respect people's privacy. Not much has changed. There's the door. Car park. I'm beginning to feel like an estate agent. As I'm journeying from Priory Avenue to Dashwood Avenue, it's all about avenues. we're definitely travelling down some avenues of memory. I think I'm noticing I'm avoiding sharing certain things, understandably I feel, not just for my own sake, but for others. I'm doing that intentionally, and I'm also doing it unintentionally, because in this experience that I'm sharing, I've chosen, and I will continue to, I'm trying to do this, as I've mentioned a moment ago, this unravelling. I'm sat at set traffic lights. I'm just about to move off safely. I'm doing this safely. One place I've not mentioned is the driving test centre in Wycombe. I can't remember what the name of the road is. I don't even know if it's still there. It's opposite a Lidl. Other superstores are available. Baker Street. So I'll find out, but that's where the driving test centre is. So I qualified to become a driving instructor in this area, and the test centre car park is where the Lidl car park is now. As I say, other supermarkets are available, unless Lidl are going to sponsor. It's not easy to say Lidl. Unless Lidl are going to sponsor. Double roundabout at the bottom there. So I'm just turning. This favourite area for driving tests. Anyway, that's a part of the experience here. I still am. I'm still a driving instructor. So this is the past meeting the present and the future. I'm now helping people to learn to drive. I'm helping people to, I'm coming down Green Street. I'm helping people to train to help people to learn to drive. And I'm also now delivering advanced driver training as well. And I'm driving down a road where that all began. As I qualified in this area. I'm now into Dashwood Avenue. This, by the way, there's a connection with a previous episode, Lane End. Howard Jones used to live in Green Street, just across the road from Dashwood Avenue. So he lived in this area. Jed Hoyle, dancer who was in a couple of Howard Jones videos. I remember when I was a Jehovah's Witness calling on him just round the corner from here. Jed Hall doing all the mime, etc. I am being safe. Anyway, wow. So I'm coming along to Dashwood Avenue, family home, children, memories, parties, silliness, hide and seek, another Howard Jones connection. I'm going to try and park, and then I'll share a little bit of thoughts outside. It even looks like there's a space. This is unusual. I don't remember this being the case back in the day. Wow. It looks like the windows are barricaded, so there might possibly be some renovation that's going on. Let me grab the video from there. So, wow. Memories of being a Jehovah's Witness, knocking on the doors, memories of working on the house before moving to the Isle of Lewis, memories of health within the family. I'm not going to give any more personal than that. Memories of that leading to going to the Isle of Lewis, which is June. That's going to be a big journey. So I don't think I'm going to do any videoing outside. I don't. I'm not going to mention the number. I'm in Dashwood Avenue. Memories of Takeaways, little takeaway just over the road. So not all bad at the time. Video store just up the way. Memories of going there, getting videos, sort of family, watching them. Yeah. And what I'm doing with that, I'm noticing this, is not sharing too much. Some could say, it'd be a shame, be really, really sad if they did. Why are you bothering sharing at all? I don't quite exactly know, apart from I've had this recurring thought of past, present and future. Michelle Roach made an incredible suggestion, I'm so grateful, to revisit these places as part of the year after my 60th birthday. So I'm making a year of it, and it's bringing up certain things, and it's not all bad. It's not all bad, because of course the memories at the time were happy. Being out of work, as I was qualifying to become a driving instructor, I was out of work. I was made redundant from a fresh frozen yogurt and American cake donut. And they particularly wanted Jehovah's Witnesses because they knew they could be trusted. I set up the shop, staffed it, etc. And then I was put out of work. I remember real darkness around that experience. Then advert for becoming a driving instructor, went through the qualifying process and had a mortgage here. So had to go through that, not just myself, but wife at the time as well. Effects of that on the family. Long story short, ultimately sold the property, moved out, moved to the Isle of Lewis. And that's the next chapter. So far, let's conclude this. Let's conclude this fifth part. We've had place of birth, Stevenage, part 1. We've had the place we moved to as a family from Stevenage, which was Felixstowe. I've shared memories there. And particularly, because it's my memories I'm sharing, not others, the fort that my dad made. Check out part 2 of this particular series, past, present and future. Part 3, Bowdeam Road. That's when my dad left. Check out that particular episode. The most recent episode, which was April's episode, and hopefully I would have just about got that out in April. That's the plan. That was revisiting Lane End. Keepy Uppies, songs, school, football memories. Not just Keepy Uppies. The gigging around in the 80s. Then Jehovah's Witnesses and becoming one, and that coinciding with marriage, and then flat and house here, children, then having to sell here, being out of work, moving to the Isle of Lewis. That's part 6. So that's for June. What have we got left after that? We got July, Aylesbury. So part 7. We've got, stick with me, Buckingham. Yes, correct. Yep, correct, right. Buckingham. That will be part 8. That will be August. So July, Aylesbury. Buckingham, August. Milton Keynes, September. Blackpool, October. Whitefield, November. And finally, Warrington, where I'm currently living, December. And that will also coincide with the release of an originally written fiction story, Saving the Spirit of Christmas, past, present and future. It's felt like a lot of opening doors. It's felt like times when the character Ebenezer Scrooge revisited places of his youth, places of regret. And as he came to the awareness of, effectively, the parts that he was missing in his life, the redemption, the reconciliation, the realization. And I'm experiencing a lot of that. But I'm not sharing that for me. I'm sharing that because I feel we can create from all of those timelines, past, present, future. Past, present, future. Next month, flipping it, June, I'm travelling back to, hopefully, planning, tons of planning coming on. If there's somebody out there who's a rich benefactor who wants to sponsor this journey, past, present and future, Christmas book at the end of the year relating to that as well, and single, then reach out. raycotesvoice@gmail.com. It needs to be legitimate. Reach out, because this isn't the end. This is the beginning. And we all have it, past, present, future. The key is, what do we do with it? Until June, Isle of Lewis. That's going to be a journey and a half. Take care. Past, present and future with you. Bye-bye.
Let your light shine. Wander down the narrow lanes that lay across the pathway of my innocence. Loyalty had shaped the younger me, but dawn is now closing on the year of defense. How can you gather the pieces of yourself once fractured? How can you heal a soul schism, move your mind? Truth's never really hard to find. From prison to eternity prison. Let your light shine. Let your light shine. Murder the past, kill the poetic view. You told a lie, watered it. My, how it grew. Murder the past, slaughtered by your fiction game. Dug the deeds deep on me and raped my very name. Murdered the past, truth on the table. Evicted, no choice, ID'd by your self-righteous label. Murdered the past, given birth to my second chance. Murdered the past, guilty become rarely dance. Murder the past, backstab the knife. You took my voice, you took my life. Murder the past, you took the first shot. Set up my fall, took all I got. Murder the past, my reputation you killed. Then danced in my blood.